Samachay, bottom of Samachay on the base. Yeah, so just the chazer. So when a guy doesn't want to give his rishus over, so Abaya said everybody should be mevatel their rishus to one person. Rava said befriend him, and then you become part of his. If you become his employee, and then you could just make the eruv with that guy who's his employee, which we'll get more into tonight. He always said it's not good to say like you like this halacha, you don't like this halacha, and then no davening after drinking alcohol.
We're at Samach Hey or Samach Daled? Bottom of Samach Daled or Samach Hey?
Samach Daled. I'm sorry, Samach.
Now
I'm chazering.
I thought I missed.
Yeah, no, I'm chazering.
Right, I thought we said Samach Hey. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if I did. I'm sorry. Right? You going up to sleep already? Okay. No davening after drinking alcohol. When you make a lot of money, you buy a sefer Torah or tefillin. Traveling takes away drunkenness. And then we said you have to sit down to be mataneder, and no walking over bread. Right? That's essentially what we got up to. Okay, so now, on the bottom of Samach Dalet Amud Beis, where do we leave off? Oh no, on the top right. Samach Amud Aleph.
Can I ask you a silly question before you start?
Yeah.
What was the likeliness that everyone had, all men, bar mitzvah and up, actually had to fill in? Everyone. Meaning, if you come into this windfall of money, the Gemara says buy tefillin and then buy a sefer Torah, yeah?
Yeah.
So if they already have tefillin, then they wouldn't need to buy tefillin. But if they don't have tefillin, then they should buy tefillin. Then they should buy tefillin so that they should have them. So my question is, did everyone have tefillin, or was it just like we hear about the old country where everyone shared shoes? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure which way it's going with. I'm not sure which way it's going here, but I imagine it's talking about where not everyone, you could borrow tefillin, right? Where does it say that anybody has to own tefillin?
I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you come into this windfall of money, then buy your own tefillin. Then at that point,
I guess that's what it would mean.
Simon, you could buy a better pair of tefillin, maybe.
Or maybe better. Yeah, that's what it seems, right? That's what it seems. Yeah, I don't know. That's what it seems like. You just the Chai Adam actually goes through in Hilchos Lulav, where he says, "Who says that you have to go 3-4 days a week before Sukkot and go buy yourself a lulav and esrog?" You could say, "Hey, I go to town and say there's no lulav and esrog. Okay, I'm pater." So who says you have to go out of your way to buy lulav and esrog? Chai Adam is mashma. You don't have to. It's good. I'm saying this after Sukkot, right? But that's so. And I'm saying we all. What?
When it says "L'kachtem lachem creates other," you could take somebody else's.
No.
Yeah, just the first day. On the first day, it's a problem, but after that, it's fine. Tefillin also.
It has to be lachem, yours.
What does that mean? You're going to get one for the first day, but you're not going to get it for the rest?
I'm asking you. He says you don't have to. I say
no. So you borrow it on matana manas lahachzer on the first day.
I'm saying, is that lechatchila, or that's what if you don't have?
Is it lechatchila? It has to be lachem. It doesn't say you have to buy it. Somebody could give it to you. Somebody can give it to you. Let's say a guy finishes with the lulav and esrog on the first day, right? He says, "Here you go. I'm done with it. Take mine." That doesn't say anywhere that doesn't work. The only reason why the poskim don't like it is because kinyonim are complicated. So people don't know how to do the kinyonim, so they're afraid you're not going to do the proper kinyon, so it's not going to be lachem.
So Yaakov, on the tefillin, you said I have to. I wasn't going to say it, but Shlomo told us from the Chazon Ish way back. Bnei Brak had a poll tax when you went to vote. You had to pay a shekel, whatever it was. There was a poll tax. So the Chazon Ish saw one of the bachrim from. And he said, "Did you vote today?" He said, "No, Rabbi, I didn't vote. I don't have any money." So he says, "You have tefillin?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "So go sell your tefillin and go vote." He says, "You don't have to own tefillin. Voting, you have to do. Tefillin you can put on your chavis tefillin. You don't need to own tefillin."
Taka?
Shlomo told us that mice. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Say that one over.
Wait,
Say
who
that
was
one
that?
over. What?
Who said that?
But Shlomo said it about the Gemara.
No, I'm saying no, from the Chazon Ish.
He said, Shlomo said it over the Chazon Ish.
Question is, what do you mean that for elections in America too, just in Eretz Yisrael?
Oh, it's so.
Yeah, that's mistama. Okay, so let's see. So on the bottom line, Summer of Sheshis Meshumra Beloza Ben Azariah. This Gemara I happen to love. This next Gemara here. Yeah, Yochel. What? I'm not allowed to say that. I said I didn't say it's. I'm not allowed to say that. But this Gemara hit. That's always it hit a nerve with me. This Gemara. How's that? Okay. Yochel ani lifter is kol olam kulam min adin. He says I can make the whole world potter from being judged. Rashi says, right? He's going to potter everybody. Top of Samachei Amud Aleph. Right? And Rashi says that he's going to say because they're shikr. And since Klal Yisrael is shikr, so they're not going to, since they're shikr, they're not going to be punished for their averis. Miyam shecharav beis hamikdash var achshav. From the Churban beis hamikdash till now, shenemar lachein shimi nazois aniya ushchuras v'loy miyayin. It says, listen to me. All right, hold on, let me look at that pasuk here. All right, it's in Yeshayahu. Right, it says, listen, right? Aniya, ushkuras, and the drunk ones, but they're not drunk from wine. They're not drunk from wine. So what are they drunk from? Tsaris. Right? They're drunk from tsaris. So that's from the Churban and on. So they're drunk. So Mamela, they're potter. Right? Gishmak a little Gemara right there. Meisvei, so shikr, I mean, it's not gishmak that they're with saras, but that they maybe are potter because they're dealing with so much saras. So meisvei shikr, mekchoy mekach. We know somebody who's drunk, if he buys something, it's considered that he bought it. Umemkar and mimkar. If he sold something, it's considered like he sold it, meaning he can't say I was drunk. Over avera, sheyesh ba misa, ma misa knows if he's over an avera that he's chayav misa, you have to kill him. Malchus knows that you give him Malchus. He's considered like a regular smart guy for everything. But he's potter from tefillah. Meaning, so don't bring a raya, right? He wanted to bring a raya that since they're potter from tefillah, so they're going to be potter from other averas. But here we see the Bryce that says that he's chayiv in averas.
Does he get punished for getting drunk and making himself potter? Is he
What?
potter, or is he? So could you get
He's
drunk and then
potter.
be potter, or it's like potter level?
No, he's potter from tefillah. It's potter.
So you can get drunk and get out of tefillah.
Nobody said you should do that.
Right, I'm saying, does he get into trouble for doing that?
For getting drunk and then getting out of tefillah? Yeah, if it's not at a time when you don't want to.
No, totally. His mother's not alive, so he doesn't get in trouble.
I'm saying, but it's
I
not.
missed something with
No,
that.
it's what he's saying. I'm saying you can't. Yes, will you be? Naftali's asking, can you get punished for getting drunk and now you can't daven?
What?
For putting yourself in that situation, that you're putting yourself in the situation that you're drinking too much, that now you can't. Now you're potter from davening.
So
Like
you
a novel Rishus HaTorah.
So let me ask you. So you're not allowed to go on vacation, according to you and him, because you're going to go to a place where there's no minions. Well, who told
Who
you?
said
You can't.
you don't have
You
to go on
can't.
vacation to a
First
place
of all,
that-
there are a lot of places.
But yes,
A
if
lot
you
of
put yourself in that
places say you can't
situation,
go.
maybe it's the wrong thing to do. To go to a vacation where there's no
I don't
minion,
know.
maybe that's
I
the
don't
wrong
know.
thing to do.
You guys have a different religion. I don't know what religion.
No, we don't have a different
Don't-
religion.
Anybody who learned in Chaim Berlin or is associated with Chaim Berlin, whatever. I'm stopping right there. Okay, that's all.
I wanna hear, I wanna hear.
Right?
Let's see
No,
what's
the Chaim Berlin, they're pro going away even if there's no minion.
Wait
It's
a
fine.
minute. I'm going to tell you a Ma'aseh Shai. I'm not going to say it from a big Rosh Yeshiva in America.
Yeah.
Okay, that somebody asked him, could I go away? I'm going on a seed program, and we're going to go to Flagstaff, Arizona. It's possible there might not be a minion. So Rosh Yeshiva answered back, that's why the Rabbanu were Masakin laning 3 times a week.
We were talking about drinking and
What does it
minion.
mean?
We didn't talk. The Gemara doesn't talk
Go
about
to
vacation.
minion. I was talking about
But
minion.
we're talking about
What
drinking
do you mean?
and,
So you can
and,
miss
and,
minion?
and minion. That's what the
No,
Gemara
he's
is talking
saying, well, what are you saying? Said he can leave minion, meaning obviously the other days there's no minion. That's what you're saying?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, whatever it is.
But only 3
What's
times
the
a week to do it?
comparison? Minyan's not the same level as davening tefillah.
That's true. That's
I'm
true.
saying
Missing tefillah, missing
we-
minyan are two different animals.
I think on this in this very shir, we heard the Maggid shir often tell us in the last 6 months, we've learned where minyan ranks on Pekuach Nefesh, and yes, not just Pekuach Nefesh, on the various different levels. I think we heard that very loud and clear about 6 months ago.
We got that, Marchuk, okay? You just showed up after a week, so don't talk about it.
He's on a roll tonight.
It's a tough crowd, and I'm going to be quiet.
Aaron, I've been looking for you at Minyan at the Kaplan's. I haven't seen you
I
there. I don't know if Aaron
wasn't
Kaplan has.
there because it's not so important.
Okay, so there you go. So some people have been learning the Daf Yomi with Yumi Goodman over there. What do you want me to tell you?
He was on vacation. Leave him alone.
Oh my gosh!
Staycation.
I've never been on this side of the argument. I've always
Your
gotten the front
son-in-law
end
was
of it.
sitting next to me during that year.
I could be made. It's true. He was.
Anyway,
Aaron, I'd like to know where you were for davening. That's all I want to know.
I was on my porch.
It's for the Zucker.
There are more mashkichim on this year.
Many at Sarah's, I davened in my sukkah, and then for Simplest Torah, I moved to my other shul on my other side of my porch.
look at that. He even goes to 2 different shuls too. He goes to 2 different shuls in his own house.
Reb, one thing I can tell you, your shver doesn't need you to protect him.
Anyways, okay. So yes, I think if a guy gets drunk, stam and misses minyan, okay, well that's going to be more after. But whatever it is, the Gemara is asking a kasha. How could you say the Klal is going to be potter from Averis because they're drunk on Saras? So Gemara says, "My dichalani lifted the kamer namin bidin tefillah." This really helps, though. He's saying no. He meant that Klal Yisrael's potter from concentrating on their davening. There's going to be no punishment for Klal Yisrael not being able to concentrate on the davening because they're so fatracht, if you want to use a Yiddish lashon, right? They're having all sorts of tzaras from all these type of things. Okay. This is all talking about if he didn't get shikr like light. We mentioned this yesterday. Right? But if he already reached the shikrs of light, then he's potter from everything. Right? Yeah, because he's considered a shaita. Very good. We have the Gemara right there. Yeah. Gershon just showed up over here. So, yeah. Okay. Zamar of Chanina. Yeah. Another Gemara about davening. See, it's interesting because he says a lashon of potter, right? He's potter from kulam, meaning potter means he's potter. There's not going to be no chiyuv on him. Right? He's potter from davening. It doesn't say that he can't daven. It says you're potter from davening. I don't know what kind of diuk you want to make from that. It's an interesting lashon to use because if a guy got drunk when he shouldn't have gotten drunk, why would you use a lashon of potter? Say you can't, or something like that. But you're saying you're potter. Okay. Another interesting thing here. It says if mapik
would it enter the Gemara's mind that you would get drunk not at the right time? Just for the sake of drinking?
Well, back then they drank wine a lot more. So it could be that by them, there was more of an issue of drunk. I guess, drunk like light, I guess wasn't as common. I don't know. It can't be are we talking about Purim? You want to say you're talking about Purim and...
I don't know. Or you're drinking or you're drinking on Yontif, I'm just saying. I don't know. But just to drink on a Tuesday night because you want to drink?
Yeah, I don't know. I hear.
They used to drink wine like water because they didn't know about how to like sanitize water to drink it without getting sick from maybe some bugs in it. But if they used like a fermented liquor or wine or something, it killed the bugs. That's why beer was very common in like the Middle Ages and Dark Ages and stuff like that. So it was common even for children to drink wine as they would a cup of milk or water, because that's how they hydrated. The problem is that they would have to water it down because we know you have to water down. We would have to water down wine in certain mishnayos and stuff like that. But that's drinking. When they say drinking, it wasn't drinking like you get shikker. You go to the bar, you go get shikker. It was like I'm drinking this cup of tea right now. Like it's the same. It is literally.
The thing is, it says it, but here it says right. So now that's all good, but now it's a shikker like light.
Well, Samach Aleph said they got drunk on Shabbos. The Gemara in Samach Aleph.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Now it's up to us to meet.
Yeah, for all those that drink, there's a very sobering, no pun intended, Gemara at the bottom of this Amud. So stay tuned.
Drink or don't drink?
Do drink. Okay. Anyways, Amar Rab Chanina. Kol mapik magin. Magin here means davening. Yeah. The Shas gaiva. Interesting. What does gaiva mean? Gaiva means gaiva, right? But here it means drunk. Okay, whatever word you want to say on that, right? Rashi is b'shas shikrus, right? He doesn't daven. Gaiva shikrus. When you get shikr, it's some sort of gaiva. I don't know. Okay. So, anyways, b'shas gaiva saigrim v'chais mitzaras ba'adai. Meaning, if you don't daven when you're drunk, then it's going to seal all your tzaras. Meaning, you won't have tzaras because you're doing the right thing. Shenemar gaiva afiki maginim sagar chaisam tzar. Right? Somebody who's drunk, who doesn't daven, afike maganim, Magan again using a lashon of davening. Sagar chaysam tsar, all the tzaras get locked up. My mashadai afik lishna davurehu. How do you know the lashon of apik, which is what the lashon of the pasuk uses and the Gemara uses, the lashon of passing it over. Tosiv achai bagdu kamay nachal kaf ka'afik nechalim yavayru. So you see that afik in the lashon of yavayru, it's gonna like a stream passes through. So you see the lashon of afik is yavayru. Now we have a similar Gemara using a different term. Rabbi Yochanan, makol she'enei mapik itmar. It's she'enei mapik. It means to say, which is my masradai mapik lishna de gluyehu, means a lashon of being megala, right? Of davening, of saying something out. Okay, whatever it is. Those are the two ways to learn it, but essentially they're saying the same thing. Michti. Kroi mashra bein lamar. The pasuk's mashra according to both. My benai. The bottom line is, what's the difference between these two opinions? The bottom line is that they're both saying that if you're drunk and you don't daven, it's going to take care of all your tzaras. Okay, so now that's a reason to get yourself drunk and then not to daven. That's what comes out. Get yourself drunk, don't daven, and now you come out of grace, all your tzaras get locked away, finished. Yeah? An interesting mahalach to do that. So you can be out to Rav Sheshes. Now the difference in is Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes Masa Shinase L'Shame. A very interesting nafkamina. Rav Sheshes, when he got drunk, he told his shamus to wake him up when it comes time to daven, right? He doesn't want to miss this man tefillah, so he tells his shamus, "Wake me up." Mar islay to Rav Sheshes, or Mar leslay to Rav Sheshes. One holds like Rav Sheshes, one does not hold like Rav Sheshes. Meaning, if you don't hold like Rav Sheshes, right? So basically, he's saying you have to be able to sleep it off by yourself. Don't ask somebody to come wake you up. Because if you have to be woken up to daven, that means you weren't ready to daven yet. Yeah? This is an argument I can hear being used by yeshiva guys. If my body didn't wake me up, don't wake me up. I'm not me. It's my body.
Yeah, but what does that mean? I think if you take a nap and you tell your wife to wake you up for mincha, that's not the right thing to do.
Oh, so that's the thing. So I think when you're not drunk, then that's the right thing to do. But when you're drunk, it seems, you see, look at Rashi says it beferish. He says, Rab Chanina, right? Rashi's around 10 lines down. He says, Rab Chanina damar avure, boy, lesle de Rav Sheshes, for osir lehispalel at sheyer me elov. You're not allowed to daven until you wake up on your own. Right? But I think it's only talking about drunk. I don't think you could say this about in the morning. Although Chaval, sometimes my boys are listening in on the daf tonight. They're punked. None of them are in this room. It's a mazel, all right? Because they would take this and run with it.
The whole alarm clock industry would drop out.
100%, right? 100%, yeah. But that's so l'chayra must mean drunk. But it's a very interesting nafkamina. So Rav Sheshes held no. You gotta have somebody wake you up, and then hopefully when you wake up, you'll see that you're in shape to daven. And Reb Chanina is. Reb Chanina? Yeah. Reb Chanina, right, says no. He says no, you got to sleep it off yourself. Once you're drunk, you're putter, and until you wake up on your own, your tour continues. Yeah?
Yes. It's not like the Gemara yesterday.
Why?
The Gemara yesterday says if you drink a revius, then sleep helps. So if you drink more than a revius, sleep makes it worse.
Just in case anybody's missing him. All right. Yeah, go ahead. What are you saying?
Gemara said yesterday
Yeah.
that if I drink a revius, then sleep helps. You can sleep it off. If you drink more than a revius, kol shekena makes it worse. It makes you more shikker.
Right.
So how can you wake someone up? According to either. If it makes you worse.
Well, it would probably depend on how drunk you are, no?
He was drunk. That wasn't just a revius.
I didn't understand anything
Right.
Gershi said because the internet was smooth. Didn't break up at all.
Oh, very good. Very
I was
good.
just about to make a line about that. That was just about to make that.
Very good. Very good. Anyways, okay, I don't know how you would work it out with these levels of drunkenness. L'chayr, it's telling on how drunk
It says he was drunk.
He was drunk,
It's more
yeah.
than a revius, l'chayr.
Yeah, l'chayr. Although
More than
maybe
a
not,
revius, it's not.
because paskening,
He said
davening, yeah, I don't know. Okay, fine. Amar Rav Chiya bar Rashi, Amar Rav. Kol she'ein daita miyushevas alav al yispal. Anybody whose das is not miyushev should not daven. Meaning, if you're not calm, then you shouldn't daven. Which is a very difficult thing to do. Right? This has nothing to do with drunk. Right? That is a fascinating thing here. Mishum shenemar. What does it say? It's batzar al yoira. When you're in tsaris, don't teach anything. Right? So memela. You shouldn't teach, so you shouldn't daven. Where is this pasuk? You have anybody in the Gemara have a circle where this pasuk is? A circle, letter, number?
Where?
There is no. You know why? Because there is no pasuk like this. That it's a fascinating thing. Rashi Batzar Yer Badakti Achara Mikra Zev Ve'enu B'chol Haksuvim says I looked for this pasuk. It's nowhere. V'shemer b'sefer Ben Sira, who maybe it's in the sefer of Ben Sira, which historically. Shmuley Sugar, when you listen to this, you'll have to give a whole thing on exactly the history of Ben Sira, right? But it's it could be it's Apikarsis, the Ben Sira, whatever it is, a fascinating thing, right?
If Rashi says he searched for it, does that mean that there were sukkim that he knew of that we don't? What does that mean he searched for it?
No, I guess he looked.
He spent 30 years trying to put out a pirush.
The Gemara brought in a pasuk
inside
from
out.
Apikarsis, from a sefer of Apikarsis.
Yes, that's a different issue. Yes, that's a different issue. Exactly what I don't know. If he's Apikarsis. I don't know what he defined as Apikarsis. Ben Sira. It's not Apikarsis. Okay, it's not Apikarsis. Gershon's saying it's not Apikarsis. I'm gonna hold off till Shmuley checks in tomorrow morning on WhatsApp at around 7 a.m. and then I'll forward it to the Olam exactly the history with the Ben Sira. But wherever it is, it ain't Torah and Nevi'im Uksuvim, that's for sure.
There's a nice, if you go to alldaf.org, Dr. Henry Abrahamson has a nice discussion of his Sifrei Ben Sira.
Oh yeah? Does he? What's his maskana?
Well, he doesn't say it's Apikoros. He says it, quote unquote, didn't make the cut.
Okay, whatever. It's not something that the Gemara.
It's not always reliable.
Quotes. Yes, it's okay. It's a fascinating thing. Okay, weiter.
Yaakov.
Yeah.
Not to step on Mr. Horowitz's thing, but I remember Tati saying over Meiser of Shlomo that he was by him and he was sick in the hospital and he went to put on his tefillin and they were saying it's almost his man. And he holding his tefillin and he put it down. And then he picked up his tefillin to put it back on, and then he put it back down again. And then finally, after 10 minutes, he picked it back up, he put it on, and he davened. I see, Mr. Horowitz, go ahead. You can fill in the story.
He's muted.
Then he asked him, he said, Rebbe, what's shot? What was going on? He says, I was too depressed. I was very depressed. I was sick, and I couldn't put on tefillin. And I had to get myself out of that box.
I heard that story.
Taka remember hearing that story. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think I actually heard it from his father. I think he once said it on the shiurim.
Could be, or whatever it is. So now, if you want to know what Rabbi Aaron Horowitz means when to learn how to drink, that's all part of it. Like to learn, it's all part of learning how to be a yid. Okay, whatever it is, we should all cry that we don't experience it. That's the bottom line.
Can I just ask that throughout all of this, no one's been able to actually pinpoint, even if it wasn't in Ben Sira. I'm looking in Art Scroll. Obviously, Rashi might not have, whatever. Literally, no one says. Rashi suggests that perhaps its source is in the book of Ben Sira.
I mean, nobody found it since then. You're saying I have no idea. It's a good point. I have no idea.
Dr. Abramson has the exact chapter and verse.
In Ben Sira?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Who has it?
Well, I guess I guess
If you go to alldaf.org and you look at Jewish
All Daf.
history, he has a
The
whole
All Daf
discussion
app.
of
The
this.
All Daf app probably has it. Okay, there.
Alldaf.org.
Just a disclaimer that the doctor gets a small percentage of any link that's clicked on through the link for all Daf.
Right, the Tosfos also discusses this.
Right, yeah, you have a long
Tosfos
thesis on it.
says.
You have a long thesis on it.
Yeah. Rashi tells us whether it's possible if the
Yeah.
Gemara could quote him.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's not a pashut thing. Okay, let's get going. Yeah, and I lost the place. Right. Also, Reb Chanina b'yamid derasach. Reb Chanina on the day that he was upset, loy matzli, he didn't daven. Omar, he said the same thing. Batzar al yora ksiv. If he's somebody's bitzar, right, batzar, then I guess anger and trouble is sort of the same thing. Fine. Mar ukva b'yamid deshusa. Mar ukva, on a day that it was very windy from the south, loy have a nafik lebeidina. He would not go to Bezdin, right? Sort of like the Sheyashu guys when it was cloudy didn't go to college. Maybe along those. Maybe this is a source for that. I don't know. But when it got a little windy from the south, he wouldn't go to Bezdin. Why not? Because it's what do you call it? It's you can't concentrate. Yeah, it's a very strong thing, and you can't concentrate properly. Yeah, the halach is bayitz lusa kiyama de istina. When you're making tzelusa really means davening, right? But you need that's what play off of words. Here tzelusa Rashi means you need to clear head. Kiyama de istina, like a clear day, right? Not like the last couple of days in New York. Yeah, so when it's not a south wind, it's a very clear day, then you could think straight. Amravaya, Amrali aim. Again, this is Abaya's stepmother. If my mother would tell me in Korev Kutra Loitanoi, right? If my mother, I'm not saying this. I'm Amrali aim. Korev Kutra. If my mother asked me to pass the Kutach Loitanoi, I wasn't able to learn. Meaning, what Shter is learning. I guess he's sitting at home learning. This is the way I understand it. And she disturbed him to ask him for something he wouldn't be able to learn. Amarava ikratztan kina loitanoi.
Is that because she disturbed his learning, or because he wanted to do kibbutz aid, but it wasn't his mother?
I understood that it was disturbed him.
It wasn't his mother?
No, he said that he lost his mother. What do you say?
That's the way I understood it. Kibbutz aim, the way Gershi. Is that John?
It was kibbutz aim, and that stirred his learning.
Not that it stirred his learning. He wanted to do the mitzvah.
But it's not his mother.
Right.
It's the lady who took
care but that wouldn't be a chiddush if he did keep it off, so he couldn't learn while he was doing
Ochko says because of this
distraction. Good. So good. Nobody could learn if they're giving their mother a cup of coffee. They can't learn when they give her a cup of coffee. What's the big deal?
I guess we don't understand.
No, he's right. No, meaning but it seems like it stirred. No, but it stirred his learning for the whole day, not just
right
there.
Stirred his learning.
Oh, it means for the whole day.
That's what I thought. I understood it that it disturbed his learning for the day, like it ruined his concentration. I wouldn't know from such things of concentrating that well. To be honest with you, I don't know, but
So it's the focus thing.
Just
the focus thing.
The focus, yeah, he couldn't find. Rashi says afilu tzivui. Avoida kala, even if she asked for something light, that would be mavatal me.
That doesn't. Come on, you have Hillel who has a guy chasing after him every 5 minutes. Doesn't get him upset.
They have different personalities. Have different. Listen, we saw yesterday too. We said don't drink in Paskin, and then who was it? Says nah, the rabbi, I need to drink in Paskin. So for him, he had a very high level of concentration. Me, I personally can't concentrate without noise. To be honest with you, I need noise to concentrate. There's very few times in my life I didn't have noise. Right, so it's very quiet. I can't think.
I think it's.
I'm not saying my thinking is also great, anyways, in the first place. But that's different people. That's what he said. I thought.
He's saying exactly the same as Hillel. Whatever you did to Abaya, we're talking about Abaya.
See, but look at the next light. I don't know.
Shter is learning.
See, look at light tonight.
He does a cutting that right. My favorite picture of Chaim.
Right.
He has a scissor in his hand, and he's completely oblivious to the scissor. His head's in the Gemara.
Could be, but
what's wrong with the Kup out of air pictures?
It's not kibbutz aid.
Yeah, no, but
look, I could do it.
Yeah, but look, light tonight is loiha yisi shayna kamaisha shanisi. Rashi says I wouldn't be able to learn the way I did.
The way I was learning a minute ago.
Good, but now we're going to continue. But now he should be able to go back to his learning.
Later, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I didn't learn it like that. Whatever.
Anyone came into a buyer.
If that's the case, I have this all the time. I cannot tell you how many times I'm on my way into Yeshiva Rockaway and my mother pulls up with a car full of bags and Costco and and now I'm going in and out of the house and in and out and then I'm sweated up and then I got to go learn whatever.
Kutach or Costco?
What?
Kutach or Costco?
Very good.
That was for the doc.
Okay, very good.
How did you learn it?
I understood it that because he was asked to do something, it stirred him. It stirred his concentration. It threw him off. What?
Dafka kutach or just anything it would be?
Anything. Rashi says anything light, even something so light like pass me down the kutach.
It's an example. It's an example.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems, and then the next Gemara too. But you know what? I think. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a sports marshal that I thought of a couple of weeks ago. You hear about these sports guys, they big time pitchers and whatever, and they got a little backache, they can't pitch. Like, how you talking? I mean, you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to pitch. Get out there and pitch. If I had a backache, I would go pitch. Elamai, the pshat is because they're so fine-tuned that you stir them the slightest bit, that's it, they're off their game. Same thing, if you have a Zak Godel who concentrates to such a high level, you throw him off the slightest bit and it totally throws him off his game. Same thing that you hear Gedolim that they cry about this most little thing, little tsaras, this and that, and we're insensitive. I mean, if you're very highly tuned to Yiddishkeit and all that, even the slightest thing throws you off. That's why I understand it. But the island is saying different. Okay, whichever one.
Of Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, somebody came to him for a shayla and he said, I can't answer it because his wife had passed away, and I'm thinking about that, and I can't put myself in your matzav. When I answer a shayla, I put all my concentration to put myself in the matzav of the person asking it. And since I can't fully do that right now, I can't answer your shayla.
Yeah, so that's right. That's what is, yeah.
Maybe you can say it's kutach.
Similar.
It wasn't kutach hababli a problematic food because it's milchak bread?
It's probably an Erev Pesach. It's a problem. It's not a problem. You can have it
it's not milchik bread, because it's not really bread.
But it was an example. It says Rashi says it's an example.
Problematic, so maybe that's what threw him off.
I know, but Rashi says it's an avoida kala. It's an avoida kala. The point, okay. The point was that it's okay. Let's see weiter. Eat kratzten kill. We gotta get going.
You're 100% right. These guys don't know anything what they're talking about. All the 10 guys, they have no idea what they're talking about. You're 100% right.
Oh, there you go. Thank you for your.
Now we can go back.
After that,
Jacob, I can trust you now.
Aaron, what'd you eat for dinner tonight? You're all fired up. It's like you're even tough for you.
You guys are hacking a cup.
You can't go 30 seconds without yelling out at somebody tonight.
I waited 16 minutes.
It's unbelievable. It's still tissue. Relax.
I think there's steam coming out of his ears.
Drink some of that wine we're talking about and chill out, man, you know?
He must have had kutach. Maybe he had kutach for dinner or something.
Have a stick kutach and some wine, you're going to be good to go. He might lead you into next day.
Okay, let's invite Amar Rava. Ikratz kina, right? If a kina bit me, like tonight I can't learn. Say this one already I could hear more. A guy gets a bite. I mean, I don't know if what a kina bite hurts or itches or something. That already a guy gets a bite. A guy, I'm saying if a Rava, but I'm saying we get a bite, it can make you meshuga. Okay, man. Marbre the Ravino of the lay ime zayin money le zayin yomi. See, in the Gemara's time, this is a shtickle of chiddush. I think nowadays this is no chiddush, right? His mother, Margarina's brother, made him 7 sets of clothing for 7 days, right? So that he shouldn't have kinim and in his clothing, and then he'll be able to concentrate better. Fine. Amar Rav Yehuda. Night was only created to sleep. Don't log off now after this Gemara, right? Right? So. I don't understand what Taisus means here exactly. Like in the summer when the nights are short, right? But meaning it sounds like in the winter, it's not just yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. So we're going to see a Gemara differently now. The moon was only created to learn. Meaning, so that sounds like you should learn at night because you use the moonlight. That's this is this week's parsha, by the way, right? It's in the first aliyah. They said people told Reb Zera that your shmaitzim are very your what you said over are very sharp. That's because I did it during the day, right? Amrlei.
The other way.
I get. Well, this is also maybe is this a kasha from yesterday's Gemara? We're saying why are you saying his things are sharp? Mashma, others are not sharp. Okay. Amrlei Barte. Rav Chisda Rav Chisda. Here's another interesting thing. Barte means the daughters of Rav Chisda asked Rav Chisda, Loi bai mar meinam porta. Don't you need to sleep a little bit? There's going to be a day that's going to be that are long and what do you call it? Viktini and short for learning. Veninam tuva, and we're going to sleep. We're going to sleep a lot, which is right. Yes. Yeah. So that's
where this saying goes.
That's where it goes. That you'll sleep. That's what I think. That's where it comes from. Right, that in the grave it's going to be what do you call it? Yeah. Amr Rav Nachman Yitzchak non poili di mama non Rav Acha bar Yaakov Yosef Apara. Right, so Rav Nachman Yitzchak saying we work during the day, right? Which means poili meaning they work during the day to learn. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Yosef Apara. He would borrow and pay back, right? Meaning if he wasn't able to learn during the day, so he paid it back at night.
So you're saying the whole concept of night seder is a gorn.
That's what most of the Amoraim here are saying. Yes.
Wow.
That's what they're saying.
This one.
What? Which one?
The last three words.
Yosef Upara?
Yeah.
Right, he would pay.
Even from Kviyasita, he had Kviyasita.
And you have to pay back. Yeah.
Doesn't electricity
if he had to give, which you're not allowed to do. What are you saying?
Doesn't electricity level the plane?
Right, that's you have to really know. Right, you have to know how electricity plays into this. 100%. Yeah. Look, that's a very good point.
He made him, and then he broke it to make a panasa.
Oh,
that wasn't stem around his panasa.
Oh, of course. Okay, so Amar Rabbi Lazar. Somebody who traveled should not daven for 3 days. Shenemar. Right? When I'm gather them by the river which comes to Ava.
So when you come back from your vacation?
Yeah, very good. Now when you get to your vacation, you can't daven for 3 days. And when you come back,
you can't daven for 3 days. So you get a week off.
Yeah. Yaakov, I was thinking this Gemara, that we were actually to apply it today. Let's say a guy is a Mossad agent or he works for the Shin Bet. And he had this tremendous pressure for a week. He had to be in Beirut for a week, killing a couple of Yimach Shemoiniks. He had an unbelievable pressure when he finally gets back home. So maybe he's Takas Potter from Davening because he has till he gets his Yeshiva Das back. He was under the gun. He could have been killed any second for a week,
Yeah. And
maybe he'd be put. I'm saying a Heintek Shaila. It could be his Potter for a few days.
Yeah.
The wife of Emmanuel Moreno, Zichron Livacha, testified that when he came back from a raid, he looked at his kids, he saw them disappear, and she saw the light in the base midrash went on. He learned for his 3 hours Seder. Then he went back to his base that morning. So not everybody was unable to concentrate, but I guess, we can't talk about such people, but he was, how could you imagine that? You come back from a raid and you spend 3 hours learning in the
middle of the night? Pretty good.
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But okay, no, but that's very good. But that's okay. So it says you travel, you shouldn't daven. Now the question is, what is travel? Now you also
that was probably back when travel wasn't sitting on your tush enjoying the in-flight movie.
That's probably, but you have the same thing with a boat, right? That's why you're not supposed to go on a boat after Wednesday because the sea is gonna mess up with your Shabbos.
Right? It's also suggested that davening was on a very high level.
True, and a Hanami. So I think.
It's Yaakov. Isn't this similar to the Shaila we had in Brachos? So when it came to not saying Kriya Shema on the night of your wedding, it used to be that it's
yes.
right, and this would be the exact same thing. Back then, yeah,
and
like
the all this
down
stuff.
Some
Yaakov, even the Ritva says even by his time. That he says we don't daven with that much kavan. We don't daven with that much kavan anyway. So what's the difference?
Yes,
I would say this is This is
Yeah.
probably spiritual brain surgery. You know, like most people wouldn't do brain surgery if they were drunk or they were exhausted. Most good surgeons, these people are such a high level that this was like ruchnias brain surgery.
Yeah, no, and Hanami, right. That's why the Shulchan Aruch says this stuff is not negaya, unfortunately, nowadays to our concentration. But because of the top of the Amud, we have a way out because we're so worn down from the tsaras of the galus. That's why we don't concentrate. So Baruch Hashem, it comes full circle on the David.
Aaron, isn't that what Rav Shlomo would say? Why we always skip by Tisha B'Av? Because it's better to say a little.
It's better to say a little without kavanah than to say a lot without kavanah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's the that. Yes, that's the Sheyashuv motto on Tisha B'Av and Yom Naroi. And it's Slichus, correct. Yep.
And then Shlomo said the entire kid.
Amud the Shmuel, ki asi be'orcha loy matzli tlasa yami. Amud the Shmuel's father, when he came in the way, he didn't daven for 3 days. Shmuel loy matzi be'beisa de ispe shichra. Shmuel wouldn't daven in a house that had beer in it, okay, for all those that drink, right? Because he would get drunk from the smell. Rapapa loy matzi be'beisa de ispe harsana, and Rapapa wouldn't daven in a house that had fried fish in it. Right, well, you could hear, you're frying food in the house and baking all sorts of stuff, but hard to concentrate. Yeah, fine. But this is very interesting, right? This for those that like to drink. There's a few pro drinkings and anti drinkings here. This one is very pro. Anybody who you can be mafata them with yayin, meaning yesh boy midas koinoi, then that is sort of like he has the das of Hashem. Shenemar v'yorach Hashem is reach hanichoyach. Right, this is coming up in next week's parsha. Meaning, if you're upset at somebody and you take a bissel of l'chaim and you say, you know what, and it calms you down and you say I'm moichel, then that's like Hashem, because Noach made korbanos and Hashem smelled it, right? And he calmed down. Right, so then you're the same as Hashem. So this is a pro drinking type thing. If you drink and that calms you down and you're moichel, then you're like Hashem. That's exactly what he's saying.
Not getting drunk.
Right? Yeah.
That's the first thing Noach did.
Whatever it is, it's got to be enough to affect your brain. It has to be enough drink to affect your brain. L'chara now, even though you're able to be moichel, you still mastami, you can't daven.
Wasn't Noach also punished though for drinking too much? And that's how.
True, but this is the carbon part. You're right. That's a good point. But this is not. He's just talking about the reach of the carbon, right? And Rashi says reach also means it's like similar to drinking. You're right. It's a good point. You can't do too much, right? Everything is in moderation, right?
But I'm saying the whole thing wouldn't it nullify one nullify the other, because yes, there was a reach and all that stuff. He still drank to the point where he was
but the first thing
incapacitated and stuff.
He planted vineyards, right?
Yeah.
It's the first thing.
I don't know. And Hanami, he couldn't do too much, but it was
after that. So he said it was for the.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to. Well, next week we'll have to revisit. Okay. Amar Abchia Kalam is Yasha B'Yena Yesh Boy Das Ayin Zekanim. Anybody who is calmed down, right? Meaning it makes his head clear. It has in it the das of 70s Canaan, right? Meaning the Sanhedrin. Yayin nitin ba'ayin oisius. Yayin has 70 oisius, which not really. It means it's a gematria of 70. V'soid nitin ba'ayin oisius, and the word soid, samach vav dalet, is also 70. Nichnas yayin yotza soid. So if wine goes in, out goes the secrets, right? Everybody that drinks on Purim, right, has heard that one. Okay. Okay, now this one's a little sobering. So okay, that you drink wine that's to be menachem oval, which I think what it means is that the oval is down. So you drinks a little bit and then it calms him down. That's what I'm here for. Right? Very good, right. Yeah, that's what Gershon is here, to be Menachem Ovel, somebody. So that's, yeah.
When I went to be Menachem Ovel for Rabbi Mejerovic, we made a l'chaim there. I think Naftali Landau was there. It was a l'chaim there. And
that's when I came.
Yeah,
isn't that a Gemara in Ksubis that says that they used to get the Avelim drunk to forget about the nifter?
Is it a Gemara in Ksubis? Yeah. But Sfardim also, right?
I learned this Gemara totally different. It's very uncomfortable to go be Menachem Ovel somebody. So if you have a drink before you
very
go,
good shot, Peretz. I actually thought about that shot. But either way, Peretz, it's along the same lines, right? It could be uncomfortable. You take a little drink, you do the mitzvah. I don't think that's a good shot. I think that's a good shot. Now the next shot, if you like to drink, do not listen to this shot. Ulashalim schar l'reshoim, and it gives schar to reshoim. Shenemer tnu schar la'ovid. Give schar to somebody who's ovid, who's
sheicher.
What?
Tnu
sheicher la'ovid. I'm sorry. Tnu sheicher la'ovid. Give sheicher. Well, it's a play on words of seicher shchar, right? Give the schar. The word in the pasuk in Mishlei is sheicher, but we're learning give schar la'ovid to the one that's being lost. Ovid Rashi means a rasha. Now Rashi, it's on the side of the Gemara here, and the Ma'aseh of Rashi in Sanhedrin says because that the Rishayim get a lot of benefit from it in this world, and that's their schar for the mitzvahs that they do. Like we learned this rule many times, right? If you have good in this, Rishayim have good in this world, so they don't have any good in the next world. So somebody who drinks and enjoys it, and he's a rasha, that's his schar in this world, right? So you better make sure that if you like drinking, that you're a good guy. That's the bottom line. Because if you're not, you're using up your schar of all the enjoyment of the drinking in this world and not the next world. Yeah? Fine.
Maybe
Naftali, what do you want to say? You're muted.
No, I'm just ball, I guess.
You're Atzala guy, so okay, you're a good guy. There you go.
But if Rishayim use up their schusim with it, then wouldn't that mean that tzaddikim are also somewhat using up their schusim by drinking up some wine?
I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go down that road because the bottom line is he's saying that it's a benefit, so then that's called benefit. You're getting your benefit in this world.
I think if Peretz's pshat is correct, and this Gemara is saying that the wine is created either to do mitzvahs or for Rishon to get schar. That means that the benefit I get is mitzvahs lavli hanas. It's not hana.
Right.
I'm getting drunk to be Menachem Ovel. That's not a
hana.
hana.
No, but that's not the second part is not.
If it's purely for hana, then maybe you have a taina. But at tzaddik, someone who's not a Russian will drink for a reason. Make a time to be mahana someone else. That's a mitzvah.
I just thought maybe in the Gemara's time, those are the only people selling liquor. So l'shalim socher the nachem that you were buying it from them.
So what? No, that's okay. I don't know if that's a shot, but yeah, okay. Let's go weiter because it's getting late and we only did an Amud yet. Amud, and this is the easy Amud. Okay. Amar Rav Chanan bar Baba Kol Shein Yain Nishpach B'Soif. This is also very interesting. Amar Rav Chanan bar Baba Kol Shein Yain Nishpach B'Soif Beisoy Kamayim Einu B'Chlal Bracha. If you don't have wine spilling in your house, then that's not called bracha.
So Yaakov, I was buying the Ribna one. It happens to be his yard site this week, but I was buying one time for Avdallah, and when he poured the kais, he was standing at the head of the table, and he just kept on pouring. He just poured it and poured it. Went all over the kais, all over the tablecloth, all over the table, all over the carpet on the floor. He just kept on pouring the Rebbe. He poured the whole bottle.
I guess that's he must have
tonight or today.
Tonight, or that was Isru.
Yeah, try that in your house, Aram.
No, I
just said a Rebbe did it. That's all.
We could try it on his porch. He could do it in his shul. If he makes it only in his shul on the porch, there it would work maybe. Yeah. Anyways, so
no, but is this a makor? Is this a makor for Avdallah? Is that where
100%? Yes, this is the makor for Avdallah that you run it over.
No, I heard Rabbi Rosner say that it's.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. What are you saying?
Why Avdallah and not Kiddush?
Okay.
I think Avdallah because Avdallah. That's when we daven for Parnasa for the whole week and all that. That's I think, but I'm not sure.
But it's a Gemara in Brachos, isn't it? A kosher bracha is supposed to be overflowing.
Yeah, but I'm saying Kiddush is also kosher bracha.
No, Rabbi Rosner was saying that if you treat wine like water, meaning you're not makbid, you don't care. It's an Indian of kas. You're being mavatal of kas. He's saying you don't care. If wine spills, treat it. You're not going to say, "Oh, it's so expensive." You get upset. He said, "It's like water. I don't care. It's fine."
Right. He said the Taz. The Taz says that in my Havdalah that the pshat is not because you are happy. How does it go? Not pshat that that you're just spilling wine, that you have so much wine that you're so wealthy that you don't care. It's pshat is that you spill the wine and you don't react angrily to it. And then memela, that shows that you're a legit person. That's, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, very good.
I tell my kid to pour it.
Well, yeah. Yeah, let's see you not get upset. Okay. So, Eina B'Klal Bracha Shenam Avarachas Lachma is B'Mecha Ma Lechem Shenikah B'Kesem Ma'aser, just like bread gets taken B'Kesem Ma'aser, Av Mayim Shenikah B'Kesem Ma'aser, so too Mayim also gets taken B'Kesem Ma'aser. Mayim Niu Yayin B'Korile Mayim. What is it? It's Yayin. It's Yayin, and it's called Mayim. Okay, so you see that they're interchangeable. Yeah.
It's also to buy mine with Meiser.
Correct.
That's what.
Yeah, we're talking about Meiser. What do you call it? Meiser Sheni. Yeah. She'i nishpach bebeisa kamayim. Right. Ikabra. We're going back to the interview. I nishpach bebeisa kamayim. Right. If the water is pouring in your house like water, ikabracha, there is bracha. V'yiloi, and if there's none, then it's not. Three things a person, you can tell what type of person he is. B'kaisai, with his cup, right? Meaning if he has yishuv adas with his cup of wine. The kisai means in his business. Kisai means a wallet, meaning in his business, if he's legit, if he does business honestly. Ubakaisai, and with his, when he gets angry, right? If if a person doesn't get too angry, so then you see that with all these three things, it makes it legit. Now, does that mean you have to have all three? I mean, obviously it's better to have all three, but does that mean if you have one of the three, then you're okay, or it has to be all three? I'm not sure. Right, it shouldn't be because everybody has, that's a good point. Even by laughing, right? If he doesn't laugh like a meshugana, so then he's also a relatively normal person. Yeah. Fine. Okay. So now back to Eruvin. Vacation's over. Yeah. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Yisroel. Now, okay. Let's just to chazer over. So, you can't have a guy in your Eruv. That was the Takonas Chachamim. We don't want to learn from the guy. We had a machlokes Rameir, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. Rameir held that even if it's one yid living with the guy, you cannot have him. You can have the Eruv with the guy. But Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov says no. You need to have two yid with the guy. One yid with the guy is allowed. Right? So fine. So Yisroel ben Nachri b'pnimius. So you had 2 yards, one inside the other, like a dead end street. You had 1 yard in the back and one in the front, and the only way out from the back was through the front. So you had Yisroel ben Nachri b'pnimius in the inside yard. For Yisroel b'chitzon, and just a yid living himself on the outside. So is that considered 2 yidden with a guy? Or not, because again, the guy really is in his own yard with 1 yid, right? But the thing is, the only way to access it is through the other guy's yard. So by Ma'aseh Lefnei Rebbe, for also the Ma'aseh came from the Rebbe, he said, no good. You have to make a schirus rishus. You have to rent it from the guy. For Lefnei Rebbe Chia, for also Rebbe Chia also said also Yosef Rabbi Rabbi Yosef B'Shili Pirkei the Rav Sheshes. They were sitting at the end of the shir of Rav Sheshes. After the shir, they shmooze. But Yosef Rav Sheshes Kamar Keman Amra Rav L'Shmaitze. Who did he say it like? Rameir. He said because he was holding like Rameir. Karchish Rabbi Reisha, and Rabbi shook his head, right, and he agreed. Yeah, Amar Rav Yosef Trey Gavri Rabbi Karabanon Litu Bahai Milsa. These 2 great people, right, Rav Sheshes and Rabbi, both made a mistake in this thing. Because who is this like? Ikar Rameir Lamali Yisrael. If it's like Rameir held that even one person needs an Eruv. So what do you need the Yisrael on the outside? Even if it's just the Yisrael and a guy living in the same rishus, it's you need to do schirus rishus. And if it was just because that was the story, right? If you think that was just the story, right? They asked the Shaila from Rav, what happens if the yid is in his own place, right? Yeah. Then they said it would be mutter. So therefore, it's obviously that's not the Ma'aser Shahaya, right? Meaning it was just him without the guy. Of course, it's mutter, right? So El Ma'ik Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov must be they going like Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov. That's why you need 2 yidden. No, you need to have 2 Yisraelim, right? But that's, you don't have 2 Yisraelim here because one is in one chutzah, one's the other chutzah. Ella Rebbe Kiva, so it must be like Rebbe Kiva, who we had this before, right? The Omar, the Omar regal hamutaris b'makayma isera shalem makayma. A regal that's mutter in its place will aser shalem makayma, right? Meaning, even though the person has and he's on the outside chutzner, so he shouldn't aser. But the bottom line is, since he has access to the other chutzner, Reb Akiva holds that that's going to make you aser. Hold on a second. This one device is going to die, so I got to log off here.
This meeting is being recorded.
Sorry, lock it up. Anyone get up?
How many devices do you have hooked up?
Well, right now.
You're muted.
Yaakov, you're muted. Well, I step away for 2 minutes. What happened?
Sorry. I just have switched devices. Yeah. Rebbe Kiva, the Amar Regel Hamutaris b'Makayma, Asera Shalei b'Makayma. That's according to Rebbe Kiva, who holds that a foot that's mutter in its own place can Aser Shalei b'Makayma. So even though the Yid is in a different rishus, so it's mutter in his place to carry, but he's going to Aser on the other chutzah since he has access. So Lamali Nachri Afilu Yisroel Navi. Then why do you need a guy? Even if it's yisroel there, right? Because they would have to make an eruv with each other. It's like Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov and Rebbe Kiva. Okay, so now why do you need the guy there? It's talking about where they made an eruv, right? They did make an eruv, a time of the ikar nachri the aser. And the only reason why that there's a problem is because there's a nachri. Have a lekker nachri lo aser, but if there's no guy, then it's not going to be aser. Right, so that's why you needed to talk about the guy there. Okay, so
Wait. How? Since when do we have to make a halakhically binding agreement with a guy when it comes to like rishusim and stuff, though? Meaning, like, the only time that I can think of, and obviously I don't know enough, but is by Pesach, right? We sell the chametz.
But that's our own good. Here, there was a takonos chachamim that you're not allowed to have a guy in an eruv. You cannot have a guy in an eruv. Right, so that was the takonas chacham.
The eruv
in eruv chatzeres, they didn't rent. So therefore, they made it that we have to rent the property from the guy. Yeah. Okay, so let's see a few more lines. It's a little late. Yisroel v'nachri b'chitzayna v'Yisroel b'penimis. Now, what about the other way around? Yisroel and a guy are in the outside yard. Let's say again in a dead end street. There's 2 yards. There's one at the end of the street and one in front of that, right? And the only way to access the outer one is the only way to get out is to go through the outer one. So this is a Yisroel and a guy on the outside one, and a Yisroel b'penimis, and the Yid in the inside. Mao. Sometime the shchiach, the dyer, the mirsas nachri. There, meaning in the other case where they were living in the inside. So the guy is going to be afraid. The savar hashta as Yisroel v'amrali Yisroel dahava gabach hecha. And we were afraid that he might kill him. So they're going to come into the yard and say, "Hey, where's the Yid that you live with?" And he killed him. So he's not going to kill him. So we're not so scared. But here he could say, "What do you mean?" Right? He's not going to be scared. He could say that the guy left. He went out of the chutzner. Meaning, when the guy in the Yid are on the inside one, so he can't say he escaped because somebody in the outer chutzner would have seen the Yid leave. Right, but when they're in the inside one, right? I'm sorry, when they're in the outside one, the Yid and the guy, then he could just say he left. Or maybe in this case he's also scared because he's afraid that the Yid is going to come and see. We had this, right? We had a whole gemara on this. Give it to a chacham and he'll be a chacham more. Meaning it's also in both cases. It doesn't make a difference where the guy is, whether he's in the inner property, the outer property, it's still a problem. Okay, you know what? Let's stop here because tomorrow's daf is not so long, and there's a very, very important when I get to the making an eruv in cities. This next gemara is extremely important. So I guess we'll stop here. Okay, I'm sorry for going a little overtime. Healthy night.
That word about the short sleeve, because that's the Rosh Yeshivas that sounds.
That's a footnote, right? There's a footnote as well. Yeah.
Rabbi, are you getting the iPhone 12?
I didn't see anything very attractive about it. I don't know. What is
5G.
Yeah, who has 5G?
Maybe you can see the Mars
the
better.
new BlackBerry.
See, the truth is, it's a better camera, but I need the people that are sending to me to have a good camera, not.
Yaakov.
Yeah.
Save your money for the new BlackBerry.
Oh, what's that?
You have to wait and see 5G.
Maybe you could use the augmented reality part.
I didn't even realize BlackBerry was still in business.
Yeah, BlackBerry's still around?
I got the last two.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know. I'm stuck with Apple. Apple has me lock, stock, and barrel. I
think you should get the new Palm Pilot that's coming out.
Or
Yeah.
Yaakov, there's a new flip phone that came out.
Yeah. You should know. My son's in yeshiva, and he needs a phone, and they don't let him have smartphones, and the flip phone situation is a disaster. So I'm thinking to just get him an Apple Watch with service. I'm going to get him Apple Watch with service. You can't do anything on that Apple Watch anyway.
Yeah. Tiago, you should have given the share you gave here about smartphones. You should have given to his yeshiva.
I should have, huh?
You said,
Yeah.
right? That's what you told him. You said that the only smartphone that they should let anyone, the only phone they should let anyone have is an iPhone.
That's true. That happens to be true. Ask Peretz about that. Peretz is now, it doesn't have to be an iPhone, but let Peretz explain to you what happened.
The good thing about a flip phone,
because they didn't have an iPhone. What?
The good thing about a flip phone is you don't have to get them a charger because it doesn't
That's
die
after
of
Peretz.
battery.
That's after you turn off recording.
Yeah.
All right.
I charge my phone.
No, I don't. I'm not embarrassed. I had two people, and each one has their own different mahalach on the chinuch. One said that they're gonna have them be makabel for the next year, a half hour of Shabbos early, and mine was they're getting a smartphone so that they don't have to wait for 15 people to get back to them to order an Uber or to book a hotel. They could have just done it right then and there.
Or to see where directions are when you tell them you're within walking distance of a Jewish community instead of being driven all over town till an hour after Shkia. Whatever.
Is this your Passaic, nephew?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, Peretz is. It's in the
Did they ever make
it's
it?
a Peretz. So Peretz is on. Peretz is taking it over from here.
They made it to Passaic.
How? They were on the George Washington Bridge by Shkia.
I heard they have a
Kvitza Saderech.
There was no Kvitza Saderech. But
I just gave you an out, Peretz.
there ain't no Kvitza Saderech there at all, from what I understand. You know what I mean? But whatever, it was very nice. The guy, the balabus that were by, he got a Sefer Torah, brought a minyan to them so that they can daven, because they were, although one guy does say he measured that where the gas station over the George Washington Bridge is in the tchum of Passaic. He did with the maps, like we were doing the other day with Long Beach and Atlantic Beach. One guy claims it's in. Either way, May Suffolk, they stayed there, and the guy brought 4 or 5 other people. They made a minyan for them. It was very nice.
Again, going back to the Gemara, I guess in case anybody needs chazara of the Gemara, that's because when you come from out of the tchum on Shabbos, you're stuck in Dalet Amos. So that's what, as crazy as that sounds, but yeah. Jesse, are you davening with us tomorrow? Because you could be the 10th man.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Right,
it's Yaakov. In the middle of the daf,
Well,
my
what
son
time,
came up
9:20?
and said, "By the way, I'm not waking up tomorrow." So
Who said
Is
that?
that?
Mike.
One second. Oh, because he heard the daf. Oh, I forgot he was on the daf.
I forgot also he took the computer downstairs. He was eating.
Okay.
So
Joe, is that an
9:25?
issue? Is that an
Don't
issue?
show up here before 9:30, Jesse.
Okay.
Joe, is that an issue? Like every couple of years, they have a flight that lands after Shabbos in JFK.
Flight is much more makel, because that we
Why?
had in the Gemara. Because they're above 10 tefachim, so they're
Now
not
that
out of
the
tchum.
guy is driving.
The guy is driving them. It's very nice, but Lamaisa, they're at it. A car is on the ground. A plane is not. So a plane is above 10 tefachim.
Yeah, but they'll
so
have to stay in
the
JFK.
Gemara
They'll have to stay in JFK.
is that above 10 tefachim is not out. You're not out of the tchum. So a plane till it mamish lands, then once you land, you're in the tchum. So then you have no problem coming off a plane and walking. But being driven in a car.
Didn't we say that you could stay in a van and keep your legs up?
Because I don't think we possibly. That's good. You were hacking. What do you say?
Didn't we say you could go in a van and just like a 15-passenger van and keep your legs up on top of the wheel?
So that's that makes it better. That's like in an emergency where you have to travel anyway. So we say do that because there are shitas that hold it's okay. You know what I mean? But it's not.
It doesn't work for the
lechatchila.
driver though.
Doesn't work for the driver. No, it does not work for the driver. The driver wasn't Jewish, so that you know what? At least in this Maisa, the driver used to work for a Yid, so she knew the whole situation. Part of it wasn't their fault, by the way. Had they were all set up to get to the yeshiva. They would have got to the yeshiva 40 minutes after Shkia, but the driver missed the gas station, so that made her be delayed 15 minutes. Right? That's what happened. So then they said, okay, the yeshiva's too far away, whatever.
They were asking people, can we use your phone for Uber? We'll pay you. We have cash. Everybody was looking at them. They finally got one person to say, okay, fine, I'll do it. And right when they did that, the lady showed up.
Yeah, well, a crazy story. What a crazy story.
But you know what? They didn't tow my car.
There you go. There you go.
They left it in the gas station?
What?
The car was in the gas station?
Yeah, they left in the gas station.
Yeah,
anyways, I got to go give haircuts. Since there's no school tomorrow, I got to give haircuts to all the, first graders, second graders now. So
give one to Gershi. He's getting a little shaggy.
Sound like my wife, Simon.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike.
The same thing halfway here.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Have a good one.